Hi everybody, George Focus, Sydney Jetski Club. Congratulations on buying a Seadoo. The purpose of this video is to take you through the process and show you how I personally look after my ski and what I need to do from start to finish, from coming off the water, how do we wash it, how do we flush it, how do we keep it maintained, keep it clean to make sure that the ski lasts you. Reliability is paramount, as we all know, and with a brand new Seadoo that you've now purchased, guess what? I want you to love it for a very long time. Now, I've also owned Yamaha, and I've been a Yamaha guy for just over 12 years. And when you look at my Yamaha, 4 years old, 400 hours, it looks brand new, purely because I look after it. Every time I take it off the water, I'm washing it, flushing it, polishing it once in a while, and also making sure the ceramic coating that I put on it is also excellent. Whether this is your first ski, your second ski, you've had skis in the past, if you've come from Yamaha, see a lot of my friends right now, and the reason why I'm doing this is a lot of my friends right now have gone from Yamaha to Seadoo, and they're totally different skis. They ride differently, they handle differently, and they need to be looked after a little bit differently in regards to flushing and all that sort of stuff and the way they're washed. So the purpose of this video is for those of you out there who have bought a Seadoo. You're gonna love it, but also if I can help you understand how to wash it and how to look after it, guess what? You're gonna have it for a long time. It's gonna hold its value. You're gonna have reliability, and don't listen to anybody else out there that talks about carbon seals and all that sort of stuff. You're gonna love your Seadoo just as much as I do, and I don't wanna get off it. Now, yes, I also do have a Yamaha, and I love my old Yamaha, 4 years old as I mentioned, but the thing is this, right now in the marketplace, the best skis are Seadoo. Right now, comparing all brands and all models, Seadoo's the one, and you've bought it, so well done for doing that. Let me take you through the process now of what I do from start to finish. All right, the couple of things that you're gonna need is not only a chamois, sponge, bucket, soap. Good quality soap is important, okay? You're also gonna need a little spanner, little tool like that, 10 mil, because you're gonna need to take the plastic cover off underneath the seat. I just went to Bunnings, Home Depot, for those of you overseas. You're going to need one of these. You're also going to need a little tool, which is one of these, which also comes in this little Seadoo pack. It's 20, 30 bucks from Bunnings, from a hardware store. You're going to need one of these to take the cover off. Now, I always take the cover off every second ride, unless I'm riding in the ocean, because I want to wash the engine bay. I want to get into the engine bay, hose it down as well, take that extra 10, 15 minutes. You're going to look after the ski. It's going to look after you, and you're going to have that reliability. So 3 extra things. Also a wet and dry vacuum with a nozzle to suck water out of the engine, but I also use this vacuum to blow water off. So once I've washed the ski, before I actually chamois it, I use the blower of the wet and dry to blow all the excess water out, to make sure that all the water is out from all the little cracks and stuff, so I don't get drips later on. So 3 things you're gonna need: a wet and dry over and above your chamois and all that. Chamois, sponge, bucket, soap. You're going to need a 10 mil little spanner, little socket, and you're going to need a little drill. Okay, not expensive, and it comes with the bits to take the screws off underneath the seat. Very, very important. All right, so I've explained a couple of things that we need: drill, vacuum, have all that ready so when we're washing the ski. But before I start washing the ski, the first thing I do is I open this up, because the moment you start hosing it, water's going to get in here. When you lift it up, water's going to fall in. So anything you have in the front storage, take it out if you've got an RXTX or a GDX like mine. If you've got an RXP, GDR, or any other skis where the hood opens at the front, you don't need to do this. But the first thing I do is I take my little storage out where I've got my goggles and rope and anchor and all that. I take this out so this stuff doesn't get wet. And then anything else I have, I've got cleaners for the goggles if they get wet, as well as water bottles to drink. Storage compartment at the front is fantastic in the Seadoo, and the way this whole contraption works is brilliant in regards to having a Seadoo. Now, before I start washing the ski and hosing it down to get it ready to soap and wash, and I've taken all my stuff out, the footwells are the biggest thing that I always pay attention to, because there's sand in there. Whether you like it or not, you're always going to get sand in there, and you want to take that out, because if that goes into your sponge and then you're washing the ski, it's going to scratch the hell out of your ski. So the first thing I want to do now before I even hose it down is get rid of that. The wet and dry vac is brilliant. Suck all that water up, get all that sand out so it doesn't get stuck in my sponge or my glove mitt that I use when I'm washing the ski. Get it out of the 2 footwells, get rid of all that sand. The grit is going to kill your paint. Make sure you do that, and then we're ready to start washing. So the first thing I'm going to do is hose it down, get all the salt off, even though I've got ceramic coating on these skis, because all my skis do. The first thing I want to do is wash the seat. Hose the seat, wash it, hose the soap off, dry it, and take the seat off, so then I can take the base plate off to get to the engine, and then I'm going to wash the rest of the ski. You may want to do it differently, but that's the process that I do. Seat first, take it off, dry it, put it aside, take the base plate off, wash the base plate, and then washing the engine, hosing the engine. Just a light mist in the engine, no soap, light mist, and I'll show you exactly what I want to clean in the engine bay, and then wash the ski. So let's do it. Okay, so take out the cap first and foremost, turn the cap upside down, and that's where exactly we're going to put all the nuts and bolts and the screws and the washers, so at least we keep them all together in one spot, and then I'll wash the plate when I've taken it off. So underneath here, be very careful taking it off. You don't want to lose, you definitely don't want to lose any washers or any bolts, so I'll just quickly show you. Once it's out, my hand sits underneath and holds it like that to keep the washer underneath there. Grab it, in we go. One's done, and let's keep going. Alright, so I've taken all the bolts out. All the bolts out of all here. Also, please make sure that you get them out of in here too. A lot of people miss these 3 bolts. So before you even lift this up, make sure these are clicked so we don't lose them. And then you grab it from there, lift it up and pull it off. And then I sit it down so it doesn't get scratched or damaged, and I put it up against the wall like that. Now, coming over here, what I'd like you to do, as you can see, I've been riding for the last 5 hours with this ski, but the water was calm. I need you to hose in here. This is the area that needs to be hosed, very importantly, and the intercooler, okay? The intercooler, which is right there, that needs to be cleaned, hosed, as well as the housing of the supercharger. This is where your supercharger is. This is the housing. There is your carbon seal and the shaft that goes from the impeller into the engine. So you may also start to get a little bit of a ring, like I'm starting to get one now. My ski's got 60 hours in it, so it looks like it could be time. Because I'm getting a little ring, I don't know if you can sort of see that little black ring that's just showing up there. So that's just showing me it's starting to wear out. It's not an alarm, it's not anything to worry about, but it just tells me, hey, keep an eye on it. If it gets any darker, next service, get it changed. That's all that is. So right in there is your carbon seal. Okay, in here is what you need to wash. All this area here with a light mist. It doesn't have to be heavy water. Light mist, wash in here. That's what needs to be washed. I also do wash the rest of the engine. And then because I've taken it off, soap and hose and clean all this here. I've also ceramic coated all this area just to make sure, you know, it's protected and it's looked after. So the whole ski's been ceramic coated top and bottom. Even my black plastics I've ceramic coated, and the paint as well. So if you're going to do ceramic coating, make sure it's a good quality ceramic coating. Mine's a 4-year, last 4 years. So very important, light mist that, and I'll just quickly show you. I'll grab the hose and we'll get that done, and then I'm ready to start washing. So turn my pressure down a bit, very important. light mist, any salt. Now I didn't really need to do it because there wasn't any salt in here, but I'm going to do it anyway, and I can see that there is starting a bit of a ring. It does come off too when you hose it, but it's also good to have it there so you know how it's going and how it's progressing. Just like a brake pad, as it wears out, you need to change it. Same as a carbon seal, no big deal. It's a very cheap, 20 bucks to replace. The dealers do them all the time, but that's what it's about. It's there, it's got a purpose. So hose that down, and then with the vacuum later, once I've chamoised it, I'm going to blow all that down to the bottom and then vacuum it all up, and then keep the seat off, and any excess water will evaporate. So let's wash. Now the other thing is this. There are other products that you can use with spray soaps and all that sort of stuff, but I'm just showing you the conventional, traditional way of washing right now. Soap, bucket, sponge, or a mitt that I use, and doing it that way. Can you use other products to make the process faster? Absolutely you could, but let me take you through the traditional way. Let's do it. Now a little trick to make sure you get all the water out is you open up the hood, because now you'll see all excess water coming out. And have a look in here. All this water that's dripping in down here and dripping into here now, all that's going to come into the footwells. So we also want to make sure we can get that. It's coming out from the front and also down into the footwell, mainly on the other side, because I've got this ski on a trolley at the moment because I've got a tandem double trailer, and the Yamaha is on that. So come and have a look in here. Vacuum's a little bit full, but I'll keep vacuuming until it takes no more. Have a look at the soap in here now. Get rid of all that. We are currently having some storms in the area. So we had beautiful weather this morning, and then the storms rolled in at about 2 this afternoon. But because a lot of our friends have just picked up their Seadoos for summer, I wanted to get this video out so people understand how to clean it. So once that's done, I definitely want to get all this excess water out. Now, as you can appreciate, in the hose, there's going to be a lot of water that's been sucked up in this hose now. But what I want to do now is find the other attachment and turn it the other way to blow. This is where now, as that blows out, a lot of people are going to look at this and think there's a lot of work involved, but there's not a lot of work involved because it's helping speed up the process. So because I've got ceramic coating on the ski, have a look. It blows all the water out. Look at the paint. So the ceramic coating helps get rid of all the water. Realistically, I can sit and blow it and not have to dry it, but I am fussy, so I do dry it as well. You're also going to get a lot of water in here. Make sure where the fuel cap is, you get rid of all that water, and all the excess water in here, you blow all that out. You're not going to get all of it, but more. Alright, so now that I've shown you everything, cleaned it all up, it is raining so we have to move the ski a bit in under the shade, the shelter. I'm going to now hose down and blow down all the water in the engine bay and then suck that up. Blowing the water down to the bottom. Now, unfortunately, I've got this on a trolley, so I can't lift the front end up, but if it's on a trailer, which is fantastic, I have a milk crate. I put the jockey wheel all the way, I lift the jockey wheel all the way up so it's the longest it possibly can. I then lift the trailer up, put a milk crate underneath the jockey wheel, lift the trailer up, get all the water to the bottom and suck it up. But unfortunately now the ski is on a trolley because I've got a dual trailer. I won't be able to do that, so I've got water up the front. Come and have a look. I've got water up the front here, which I'll have to suck up. And then there's water down the bottom as well, so I won't be able to grab most of that. Back down here, I'll get all that water out down the bottom here. Here where the I've got a jaws pump in here and where the jet finder is, and then over to the other side. And as I suck it up, all the water from the front will come to the back. So as you can see, there's just water down the bottom there. Let's suck as much as we can up. Alright, so I've blown all the water down, I've sucked it all up with a vacuum cleaner. Now, the best product to use is the BRP, its own anti-corrosion lubricant where you spray in the engine, and you could use that. Now, some people want to use Inox and Lanolex, whatever it is, all that sort of stuff. Yamalube's okay too. I wouldn't use WD-40, I wouldn't use Inox to be honest as well. Use the branded product, that way you know you're safe. I don't put this on every time. Every second or third ride is when I put this on, but I do wash the engine bay every ride unless it's flat water, then I'll leave it for a ride. But usually, every ride or every second ride definitely, I've taken it off and I'm hosing it and washing the engine bay, and then every second or third ride, depending on how it looks in there, I will spray some of this as well. So we blew the water down, vacuumed it all up, engine's nice and clean. I wouldn't usually do this, but just for the video I'm going to actually spray it because I have sprayed it the previous wash. And let me show you, just a light mist, light spray over the engine. I just give it a quick coat. As you can sort of see, it will spread out and it will, you know, even out. So nice light mist over the hoses just to keep everything. The biggest thing that I want you to, if you're going to use this, let me just take this camera. The biggest thing that I want you to, that's just going to roll down. As you can sort of see here, it's now becoming really shiny. Everything's becoming shiny, which is great. I do the supercharger housing. That's the main thing I want to do, purely because if there's any salt, it's not going to sit on it and corrode it. Okay, once that all, so you can see how nice and shiny it is, it will settle, it balances itself out, and then the engine bay looks spick span, nice and clean, and that's the way we want it. Making sure we keep our skis nice and clean, well maintained. They're going to last us for a long time, and you know what, we've paid so much money for our little, you know, toy and our pride and joy, we want to look after it. Now I'm going to leave the ski the way it is. Any excess water is going to evaporate. I'm not going to put the cover back on, and I don't put the seats back on. What I actually do is I put the seats upright, especially the main one, to drain all the water. The back one I put flat because it's plastic and it's not going to damage any of the material. And the front one I put upright because at the bottom are the two plastic legs and it sits on that. That way it holds, you know, holds it on the plastic, doesn't damage the material. Put it up against a wall somewhere where it's not going to fall down and damage the material, and let the water drain out of that. So I won't put the cover on or the seats on until I'm ready to go for the next ride. Let any water in the engine bay come out and evaporate. So don't put the seats back on straight away. Let it air. That's the best thing you could do. Keep the hood open as well. Let all the water come out and all the water evaporate. And you've got yourself a nice clean looking ski ready for the next ride. All right, the last thing we want to do is flush the ski. You need to make sure you flush the ski. Now, this is different to any other ski. This only needs 90 seconds. And in fact, I do it less than 90 seconds. I get a timer on my phone. The first thing I'm going to do is start the ski. Start the timer. Start the timer. And then plug it in. And so now, I'm going to keep an eye on this for 1 minute and 20. Now it's about 10 seconds from the time I start it to the time I put it in. 1 minute and 20, I'm going to unplug it, allow 10 seconds to rev it, get all the excess water. I switch it off, I do 4 revs, switch it off. I then start it again, 2 revs, and then with no water in there, start it again the second time, 2 revs, good revs, turn it off and we're done. And that's the last bit to flush the ski. All right, 120. Folks, I'm George Focus. Thanks for watching. For all my good friends out there who have just bought a Seadoo for summer and you're not sure what to do, I've just taken you through the process. Just quickly, make sure you get yourself a drill with the little bits to take the seat off. You know, go that extra mile, take it off, clean it, get in there. Fantastic. Vacuum cleaner, wet and dry, suck up all the water, not only from the footwells, also from inside the engine, you know, blowing it all down to the bottom, sucking it all up. The other thing also, vacuum, get your little tool, little drill thing from Bunnings or a hardware store, and a little, you know, spanner. That's a 10 mil. Get yourself some lubricant, either from the dealer or online, see if you can find it anywhere cheap. You can use other products. I like to stick to the branded products, BRP products. With my Yamaha, it's only Yamalube. Give the ski a wash. I've taken you through the process. There are other products, as I mentioned, but I'm just showing you the old traditional way of cleaning, and that's the way I clean, and that's the way I've taught my son to clean. Any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. In the comments, shoot me a message on Facebook, Instagram, Sydney Jetski Club. We're here to help you, serve you, and give you as much information to make sure your next ride on the water is as enjoyable as ours are. And I look forward to seeing you on the water and riding with you. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. All the best.